What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a beautiful winter's day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, the beer I have today is called Pompous Ass English Ale, English Style Ale, and this was sent to me by my brother Shan from Shan's Craft Beer Reviews. I'll throw his link up there. If you're not subbed to his channel, go check it out. He does some really cool stuff. Obviously, he's in Canada, so he has access to a lot of Canadian beers that we don't really see in the U.S. Now, I live probably an hour and a half south of Detroit, and I very rarely see Canadian beers other than the mass junk, Moosehead, Bolson, all that kind of crap. Now, occasionally I do see Flying Monkey at one of the little shops around here, but that's really it. So I was thrilled when he sent me these Canadian beers. You probably remember I did an unboxing a while back, but then I've been kind of ill, so I haven't done any videos yet. So finally get to give this a try. Now, it says, please refrigerate, drink this beer fresh. And I had it in the fridge up until a few minutes ago. Date on this. I can't read the first couple, but it says 12/2023, so it looks like it's from December 2023, and we're now early February, so not old at all. English Pale Ale, like I said, and this is from Great Lakes Brewery, which is interesting because we have a Great Lakes Brewing in Cleveland, Ohio, but it looks like these guys are on the other side and have a very similar name, and they're out of Etobicoke, Ontario, Canada. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Etobicoke, Etobicoke? I guess that makes sense. 4.2% ABV, 28 IBUs. We got a little blurb here on the side. Pompous Ass is our version of an English ale. We created this recipe adhering to the time-honored English brewing methods and then flip tradition the bird by substituting the ingredients with our own contemporary blend of hops and yeast to brighten up the flavor, ensuring that even the most pompous ale drinker, like Sir Fuggled Doublebottom, does a double take. And I guess that's this gentleman on here. Very interesting can art, right? See if there's anything else of value. Has the ingredients listed here: water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. Now, that was pretty good review-wise. Untappd, 3.56 on Untappd. Beer Advocate, 3.75, 85 overall. Very good. Now, I was hoping this would be like an ESB, like an English bitter. It didn't say ESB or an English mild, but I don't know. It says pale ale. Kind of looks like a bitter to me. Color-wise, it is. Now, head, magnificent. Again, 2 fingers here. And the head on this, it almost looks like a nitro head because it's so silky. The previous beer I did was a cloudy, that cumbersome from Levant. It had like fish eyes on the top and was cloudy. This is just like a smooth kind of oaty looking. Like when you have an oat beer that has that I think the top does that weird kind of thing. This is exactly what it looks like. It looks nice. Color-wise, if I break out my chart, my Brew HQ chart, maybe like a 14 or so, medium amber. It's got a nice color to it. The head, not exactly white. It is almost like a tiny bit tan or khaki. It's probably predominantly white, but it's just slightly caramel. It's got a slight little bit of brownness to it. Let's give it a sniff. Not a huge bouquet on this. Slight bit of citrus. And a light bready malt smell as well, but that's kind of it. Nothing too crazy, which I'm completely cool with. Like I said, I just got over being sick for about a month. I'm not really in the mood for crazy sours or ridiculous flavors. I'm just trying to get some normal beers and regular old styles, and this would seem to fit the bill. Try to see if there's anything else on the notes I took. No, on the can, nothing else. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. Body, medium. It's got a nice body to it. Flavors, there's a couple different things going on here. I think you definitely get that light bitterness that you associate with kind of like an ESB or an English style pale ale. ESBs, I think they're pretty much, you're in the same category in my mind. You definitely get a nice little bitterness throughout, but I do think you get a little bit of a citrusy hop presence in there that in my opinion, definitely wouldn't get in an English style ale. So I'm guessing that's the part where they said they flipped it to bird and tried to flip it a little and do it their way. Because it's kind of like you took a nice lighter style English bitter, but then added in some, maybe like some floral hops or something to give it a little bit of a floral note or a citrusy note, and switch it up a little bit. And that's about it. There's not a whole heck of a lot else going on. Now, I will say this. You do get a nice little bitterness at the end as you drink it. 4.2% ABV. So again, if you're not familiar with the English beers, most of them tend to be pretty low ABV by American standards. I think here, 5 is what I consider kind of like a run-of-the-mill beer. Maybe if you get some macros that are slightly under or slightly above, but 5 is kind of average ABV for an American beer. And this is 4.2, which is relatively light by our standards, but I think it's probably more par for the course for British beers. So, it kind of hits there. Now, as I've had a few sips of it, pardon me, got a little bit of a burp coming. I feel the bitterness at the back of my throat after you drink it, which 100% reminds me of a lot of the English beers I would have drank when I spent some time in London a few years back. So for me, this is basically just like an English bitter, but with some lemony kind of citrus to it, and maybe a little bit of more aroma than you'd get from a traditional English pale ale. So for me, solid beer from what is this? Great Lakes Brewery. Every time I see it, my brain thinks Great Lakes in Cleveland because it's everywhere I go around here. But this is Great Lakes Brewery, not Great Lakes Brewing. And thanks again, Shane, for sharing this with me. Really good beer. Big thumbs up for the brew. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. I'm clawing my way towards 1,000. I think I'm in the 950s. It has been a slow, arduous crawl to 1,000. Even then, I won't make any money because you have to have like 3,000 or 4,000 hours of views, and I'm nowhere near there. But it will be a moral victory for A Beer a Day with TK if we get to the 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you don't subscribe, please do so. Also, again, if you've had this beer, let me know what you think about it. Or if there's anything else from Great Lakes Brewery I should be on the lookout for, let me know. I know the Ginger Yeti and I have been chatting about going up to Canada one of these days. We used to go up to Windsor quite regularly, but sadly the hotel we used to go to has been taken over as like a refugee hotel. So I guess all the immigrants that are coming are getting put in the hotel that we used to stay at. So I've got nowhere to stay. It was my favorite spot. It was right on the river, and you could see Joe Louis Arena in Detroit right out the window. So literally you have the corner windows and the hockey stadiums right across the street. A magnificent view, but I guess it's not available, so I don't know. Maybe I won't be going to Windsor anytime soon. We'll have to see. But hey, is what it is. Till next time, cheers.